Oh, sing a song. Um,
Yeah, no.
okay. It says we are being live streamed. It's setting it up. And there we are. We're live. And for those of you listening, this is Karen at newclevelandradio.net. YouTube and Zoom have made some big changes, and I'm not used to them, but it is time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn. And his sidekick, John DiNallo, is taking the day off.
He's
How
AWOL.
lucky.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No.
Yeah. How
Sure.
lucky.
Okay, we'll call it that. He's lucky. Yeah, we
Yeah,
gave him
he's with
the day
his
off.
beautiful wife today. So that's
That's
a
right.
good thing.
Day off with pay, John.
Oh, with pay.
With pay. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. It's What in the World with me, Paul Seaburn. How's everyone doing out there in the podcast world? We hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio, where we're at. And hope it's the same where you're at around the world. I got another notice this week from someone on the other side of the world. I don't remember if it was India or somewhere in that part of the world. So thank you so much to everybody for listening to us, watching the podcast on YouTube, however you're encountering us. Thank you for being here for What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news show, real news, sometimes strange, always funny. That's our motto. And I believe we live up to it. I hope we live up to it every week. We certainly have a good time. When even with the two of us, with Karen, and I will introduce Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, which is our platform. Excuse me, and the allergy stuff is in the air, so I will be drinking water as we go along.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Karen, for being here. Check out all of the podcasts Karen has on newclevelandradio.net, and all the ways you can download or listen to our podcast. Please like us, follow us, do all those things so that we know you're out there. I'm on Facebook, so send me a message if you're listening. I like to do shout outs. I want to do a shout out to Ray. I believe Ray is listening. Ray B. I'll give his last initial. If you are Ray, glad to have you with us, and thanks for all your support. Mark, as always, I know Mark is upset because we are recording on Thursday rather than Tuesday, and I believe he listens to us while he's exercising one day a week.
Oh, one day a week. Wow.
Yeah. So Mark's in great shape for a man his age. I went to high school with him, so that tells you something. Okay. But anyways, so you're not here to listen to all my tales of high school days. You're here to hear the strange and weird news stories from around the world. I like the countries don't matter. I think we've hit every country or close to it. We've hit other planets. In fact, I have a story from Mars today. So whoa, you never know. Yeah. So we should really call it What in the Universe today. Anyways, if you're looking for more on these stories, go to visit my day job at mysteriousuniverse.org, where I have some longer stories, and now nowhere near, still somewhat funny, but not as much fun as we have on What in the World.
Absolutely not. This is a place to have all the fun.
This is where you come for fun. No bad news, no business news, no politics, none of that bad stuff. Instead, good old-fashioned weird news, such as this week we have pink pigeons in England. Oh, Karen, you'll love this one. And I always like when there's a Bigfoot sighting in Ohio. We've got one of those with a photo. So John took the wrong day off. I've got a photo. I'll have to email it to him. I love talking about food. I've got some strange fast foods and some strange ways to eat fast food. So if you've got an appetite, this is for you. Ghost. I got some ghost stories about governors. So interesting angle to ghost stories there. A Loch Ness monster in the United States, in Lake Tahoe. We're going to talk.
Really?
Yeah. How about that?
Hey, I like that.
I mentioned Mars. There was a big news story this week from NASA. A mysterious door appeared on Mars. So we're going to investigate that. UFO fetishes in Washington. there was a big UFO conference, UFO hearing this week that all the media was covering. We're covering UFO fetishes instead.
Oh,
Oh yeah, then we'll find out what those are, Karen.
hey, I can't wait.
And more odd news. I've got some trivia. I've got some world records. No sports this week. John is on vacation. I know he'll be looking for weird sports for when he returns next week. So
Okay.
look forward to that. And then we'll play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host. So let's get right to it with a couple of quick stories here. This first one comes from the University of Cambridge, which is in England, which is where Tex Chick and her high maintenance import husband are vacationing this week. So that's where he's from. Not from the University of Cambridge. I don't think he could get into that school, but he's a talented and lovely gentleman. Anyways, okay, now that I got myself out of that hole, engineers at the University of Cambridge. I think I mentioned before, Karen, that before I got into the comedy business and the weird news paranormal business, I was in the computer business. So this story caught my eye because it's a computer.
Okay.
So these engineers at the University of Cambridge have been running a computer for 6 months, a real computer for 6 months, using nothing more than the current generated by algae in a pond. Algae, yeah, the green stuff that floats on top.
Yeah.
Somehow they use a process called synechocitis, which doesn't even make a good band name. Synechocitis. It's a real computer, a programmable 32-bit reduced instruction set processor. So it's it's the kind that you can buy off the shelf at your finer computer stores. And they're running it on algae. I can't believe it. All of a sudden, being pond scum is a good thing. But that's what they're doing. They stick wires, probes, I guess, into the pond or into an aquarium full of algae, and they just hook it up to the computer and it runs. This could be the future. Running your computer from your aquarium.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think when I'm doing my IT work this week, I'm going to talk to all my consumers about that.
Oh, there you go. Tell them. Don't buy any more AA batteries.
No. Just get some algae.
Just get some algae. You should be selling algae on the side. Maybe that's our new business. Tell people to get ready for the revolution in computers. Algae powered computers.
I love it.
We're ahead of the game.
Yeah, we are.
And a lot of buckets. Okay, so let's move on to zombies. Everybody loves zombie news. So we've got zombie apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse really baffles me, and this story is not going to help. Dr. Cameron Carlson get this, Karen. This is in England, and everybody else out there, especially people in England, you may not know this. There is a zombie research society in Great Britain that researches zombies. And they have a doctor, Dr. Cameron Carlson, who runs the thing. He says people with good cardio fitness, that like runners and cyclists, will have a better chance than bodybuilders and people with big muscular physiques when it comes to surviving a zombie apocalypse, because they can run faster and outlast a pursuing zombie.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what this means? This means, I figured it out, you don't really have to run faster than a zombie. You just have to run faster than all the bodybuilders.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
That's
Makes
true.
sense.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That same rule holds true for bears. So you don't need to run faster than the bear, just faster than the guy behind you.
Yep. Okay.
Who cares? Is there really going to be a zombie apocalypse? I can't believe that this gets the news that it does. The U.S. government has files on the zombie apocalypse. Go figure. Don't we have better things to work for our government?
I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so too. Okay. This was interesting. This comes from Argentina. So there was a security camera video from a school, the University Champagne de Mendoza in Argentina, And a university, I think, means like high school. I'm not sure though, but they're terrified. The students say they're terrified to go back to class after watching a security cam video, which shows a chair sitting next to the guard shack. All of a sudden, the chair starts moving back and forth all by itself, and the guard, the guard looks out the window. He sees it. He opens the door. He comes out. He looks at it, and then he runs away. So the kids are terrified. So the story says, because their school is now haunted by a university ghost. So that's and clear evidence. So in my opinion, this is a school. This is evidence that there was a big test the following day, and they figured out a great
way
to
get out of it.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I was thinking about this. I'm surprised we don't have more haunted school stories. Did you ever hear about ghosts at a school that you went to, Karen?
Not when I was growing up. No, because everybody wanted to make sure that you were in school.
Exactly. Yeah. I haven't heard many. I didn't know from any of the schools that I went to. Although my high school, we always believed that the gym lockers were haunted. At least that's how we explained the smell that was coming out. It's a dead body. It's something. Yep. Don't go in there. Don't go near it. But I've mentioned this before, that both John and I have went through many years, 16 years of Catholic school. And in Catholic grade schools, the nuns didn't need ghosts to scare many ghosts. They needed one, the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost is watching you. And that's all we had to hear. And we were well behaved. The Holy Ghost, Karen, for those of you who are not Catholic, is God. and I'm not going to get into any deeper than that because it gets complicated. Okay, so here's another ghost story. This was in the mainstream media this week. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's apparently a real character, he claims that Gracie Manor, which is the governor's home that they set aside for him, 223-year-old country house. So, you work in the city and then they have this beautiful old country house for you to live in. Not a bad deal. And he's the mayor. His house, he claims it's haunted with ghosts. Time to turn the page here. What kind of ghosts, you may ask?
Yeah, what kind of ghosts?
He says that he hasn't seen them. He hears footsteps and he hears them moving things around the house. Strangely enough, though, they checked and no other mayors have reported seeing ghosts, hearing ghosts, any kind of weird activity in Gracie Mansion. So he's the first mayor to have these kinds of experiences. And they looked everywhere. They brought in paranormal people. They looked everywhere. They found plenty of skeletons in the closet, no ghost. If it's politicians, they're definitely going to be skeletons.
Of course.
As proof, yeah. As proof, there are, and I've been to New York City, there's plenty of paranormal tours that take you to all the various ghost sites in New York. Gracie Mansion is not on it. So what more proof than that? The ghost tour guides aren't going to waste their money taking you someplace that's not haunted.
Absolutely.
They don't take you to the subways either. I was surprised. They don't take you down to the subway. Even ghosts are afraid of New York City subways. You know where the good ghosts are in New York are in the theaters. That's every theater, all those old theaters. They're
absolutely
all yeah. You just they're just so beautiful and so old. There's even a light they call the ghost light, which I think is the one light that they leave on all the time for the ghost, I guess. I don't know. So I went, we live in Cleveland, Ohio, which many of you may know and many of you may not know is the home of Playhouse Square. We are second, Cleveland is second only to New York City in the number of Broadway-sized theaters in our downtown area. Right. So they're really beautiful restored old theaters, which have plenty of ghosts, Karen. The paranormal professionals have gone down there and to each of the theaters, the state and the Ohio and all the rest. And they found a number of ghosts. They found a female ghost whose domain is the balcony of the Hannah Theater. They found a lady, another female ghost, who wanted to be an actress. So now she roams the stage at the Keybank State Theater. So plenty of people have seen them. They've confirmed that these ghosts are there. And then there's one they call a benevolent gentleman ghost at the Connor Palace, who they believed was an usher there in the 1930s.
Wow.
So yeah. I go to the palace. The lovely Donna and I like to catch Broadway shows at the palace. So I'm gonna look for the ghost in the palace. The only scary thing I've seen is a giant pretzel, which I think has been hanging in the at the refreshment stand for about 20 years.
Probably.
That scares me. Now, I don't know where the mayor of Cleveland lives, but I do know that the governor of Ohio lives in what is called the Ohio Governor's Residence and Heritage Garden, which is another big mansion set aside for our political leader, which also has ghosts. They say that the main ghost is a woman who died in a fire early on in the history of the building. And she appears in a blue dress. It has been seen in various rooms in the mansion. And this is sick. They say you know that she's around if you smell burning hair. Yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of sad, but at least you know if you smell burning hair. And if you don't know what burning hair smells like, no, don't try this at home, kids. So I thought this was interesting. They were renovating the mansion, and some of the staff members reported that she appeared to them and told them that she liked the renovations. And they did say that she likes to move paintings around. So they'll at night, they'll come in the morning and things have been moved around. You know, I know enough about Columbus, Ohio, that if there are ghosts in Columbus, paintings aren't what they want, what people in Columbus want moved around. They want ghosts to move the football during the Ohio State-Michigan game when Michigan's not looking. That's
whoa, not fair.
That's for our resident Michigan fan and the one who's AWOL today. So anyways, this is another big Ohio story here, and I want to get ready. I do have a photo here. John is missing out. For those of you who are regular listeners of the podcast, John always gets excited when we have a Bigfoot story, and even more excited when we have a photograph. And this particular Bigfoot story is from the Columbus area, from Salt Fork Park, which is east of Columbus. And I do have a photo. So Two hikers were in Salt Fork State Park earlier this year, which is a known Bigfoot hotspot. I think there's been a couple dozen Bigfoot sightings over the years. And they claim they recorded either a Sasquatch or an Ohio grassman on camera. Now, Karen, you remember, we've talked about the Ohio grassman, which is named for, and why is he called the Ohio grassman? While I bring up our photo, do you remember that?
Because he walks in the grass.
He walks in the grass. No, there's signs saying Bigfoot, keep off the grass. No, it's because the most popular food for Bigfoot is apples, which is why there's so many.
Oh, so
yeah. And there weren't as many apples in Ohio. So the Ohio Bigfoot switched over to grass.
Got it.
Yeah. So anyways, not only did they find the Bigfoot, now I have a picture of the Bigfoot up here right now. And you can, and if you can't see it, there's they put
he's way in the back circle there.
Yeah. So there's something shadowy, upright, maybe fur covered. What would you say, Karen? It has a head.
John would say no go.
Well, what if it's not a Bigfoot? What do you think it is?
It could just be a gorilla.
Well, now that would be pretty cool too. If it were a gorilla rather than a Bigfoot, a gorilla loose in Ohio. It looks like it could be a tall stump. I'll be fair and say that it could be a tall stump, but in the right light, and if you squint and get close to the screen, it could be Bigfoot as well. The real interesting thing was that they, in addition to this, while they were trying to follow whatever it is, so they say, they also found piles of hair and bones from several deer, which they think, whatever this was, Bigfoot, Ohio grassman, killed and then ate. Which, if that's true, is really big news, because the Ohio grassman is a vegan. So if he suddenly switched to being carnivorous, this is huge news in the Bigfoot world. And we should be concerned, at least those of us living in Ohio. But I mentioned that Salt Fork is a Bigfoot hotspot. Just in the 1980s, since the 1980s, so in the past 40 years, there have been at least 36 sightings in the park. There's
Wow.
an annual festival, a conference, not a festival, but a conference down there, and they bring in all kind of Bigfoot experts. So, a lot of people recognize it as being a Bigfoot spot. First recorded Bigfoot sighting was in 1811, which coincidentally is 1 year before 1 year after 1810, when the local Native Americans realized that there were too many white people coming to the state, and they needed to think up a scary story to keep them away. And believe it or not, and many people believe that that's the real history behind Bigfoot. Is
Wow.
a story made up by Native Americans to scare away the Europeans? It makes sense to me, especially when we look at some of these photos and they really stretch the imagination.
Yes, they do. Yep.
This is a Bigfoot, but we give them their say. If you think it's a Bigfoot, bring us the head of Bigfoot, bring us the toenails, something.
Oh, toenails. No.
I don't want you to kill Bigfoot. No, we're not asking for you to do that. All right, let's go back to England here. This one comes from Lancashire, England. Oh, you'll love this one, Karen, and all you bird lovers out there. Lady in England spotted a pink pigeon, and it's so cool. I'm going to put the picture up right there. A pink pigeon in her yard.
Wow.
Yeah. So some people who saw the photos, I mean, it's bright pink, and the photos have regular pigeons next to them, so you can see the contrast. Now, some people right away said, "Oh, someone caught that pigeon and spray painted it." That's impossible. You can't. You've seen the pictures of the ducks and other animals that get stuck in oil slick. Same thing would happen. This pigeon is walking around, bobbing its head up and down, having a gay old time. This is a real pink pigeon. So
maybe it drank some pink Kool-Aid.
Oh, but that's entirely possible, though. Or like pink flamingos eat shrimp. And so flamingos away from areas where they have to eat, where they can't eat shrimp and they have to eat something else, start to lose their pink color, which I'm sure bothers them. Yeah. So she's looking out the window, and she yells to her husband, who's looking at it, and said, "Oh, look at this, a pink pigeon." So she runs and gets some bread and feeds him. The husband, on the other hand, quit drinking. And that's what a lot of people said. They said that she was hallucinating. I've listened to every song by Jefferson Airplane. I don't ever remember them singing about seeing pink pigeons. White rabbits, yes. No. Pink pigeons, no. Although there is a band called Pink Martini. It could have been inspired by a pink pigeon, or they were inspired by the drink Pink Martini. Have you ever had one of those, Karen?
No, I'm not a martini drinker.
Not a martini drinker. Okay. For those of you listening to the podcast who might want to fix a drink while, we still have another half an hour or so to go here. A pink martini is grapefruit juice, vodka, lime juice, pomegranate juice, and simple syrup. I guess mix that all together, shake it up, pour it in a glass, and it comes out pink. And then you see pink pigeons.
Or pink elephants.
Or pink elephant. I was wondering what simple syrup is, because I've seen that in drink recipes before. So I had to look it up. Simple syrup is sugar and water. But they call it simple syrup so they can charge you more for the drink. But that's
Got it.
exactly what it is. So don't let the bartender fool you out there. Simple syrup is simply water and sugar. So bring your own little packet and make your own.
Yep, absolutely.
And they'll throw you out.
Yeah.
So what this actually is, they researched it, and this is a Nesonus mayeri pink pigeon. That's the name of it, which is native and only found, except for this particular one, on the island of Mauritius, which is a tiny island nation in the Indian Ocean, 1,200 miles off the southeast coast of Africa. So it's south of Madagascar, if you know your geography. But way out in the middle of nowhere, that's the only place where these pink pigeons are. So they're trying to figure out how this particular pink pigeon got to England. My guess, it had a lot of frequent flyer miles. It was tired of being quarantined and took a vacation to see the Tower of London and this lady's backyard. There's only 500 of them left, which is the sad part of this story. They're an severely endangered species. So I hope that someone was able to capture it and take it back to its island home and where it can breed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I was wondering if there were any oddities other than their color. And it turns out that pink pigeons will only poop on certain cars. They only poop on Mary Kay Cadillacs.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now, for those of you out there under the age of 30, Mary Kay Cosmetics, they're still in business. They're a multi-level marketing cosmetic company. The sales people, just about all of them women, used to go door to door in a typical multi-level marketing operation. When you reach a certain point, which meant you had to have a lot of sales on your own, plus a lot of people selling for you, which is the purpose of multi-level marketing, you would get a pink Cadillac. Now, I think at the beginning, they actually gave the title to the salesperson. And she owned the pink Cadillac for as long as she wanted to. Now they lease them. So I think you have access to a pink Cadillac for a year. So, times have changed. But anyways, yeah, they still do that. I don't see have you seen one lately, Karen?
No, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Long time since I've seen a pink Cadillac. So I thought that was interesting. Okay. All right. So this is for those of you who like to work out. This is for you. This is in our world record category for the week. So Tony Halou, Helou, Tony Halou of Quebec, set a Guinness World Record recently when he performed a headstand. Now that's not a handstand, but a headstand. It's head on the ground.
Wow.
At the age of, get ready, Karen, 75 years and 33 days, making him the oldest person ever to do a headstand and have it confirmed by the Guinness World Records people. And if you don't believe it, I've got a picture of old Tony right here. There he is.
Hey, Tony.
Right. And right next to him, he is on his head with his feet in the air. This is not the world record photo, by the way, because he has a cloth underneath his head. He had to have it on the ground with nothing in between. And because it was a wet day, he couldn't do it on the grass, which is what he wanted. So he actually set the world record with his head on cement. But pretty impressive, if you ask me. Now, if you look at him and you think that here's a 75-year-old man upside down, this looks like the next Depends commercial for me. I'm Tony. I do headstand, but I couldn't do it without my Depends. Can you do a headstand, Karen?
No, and don't even ask me to try.
You know what? No, I would. That's what I was going to do. It's never too late to try. Tony,
no, it's too late for me.
Tony started in his 50s. He was always athletic, but he never did a headstand until he was in his 50s. So, and now he does them all the time. His daughter says they can't get him upright. He's always not doing it. Me, I can't. It takes me 3 tries to put a hat on. This guy is on his head all day long. It's amazing to me. So, for our listeners out there, even if you're older, you can still learn how to do a headstand, and you too could set a world record.
Yeah,
There's
well,
plenty of easier ways. I know we've
yeah.
talked about them. Yeah. Now this one's not a world record, but it's still a great story. This is the kind of story I love to show Karen. So you know what's coming, Karen. A woman in California had her tongue split surgically, right down the middle.
Did you have it on Facebook?
Yeah, this was on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh my.
So she revealed why she did it. She's one of these people who has a lot of tattoos, but she specifically had her tongue split so she could taste two different things at the same time. And here's a demonstration of this lovely lady, young lady. She's a what do you call those braids?
Dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks. Thank you. She's a dreadlocks artist. So she does dreadlocks for other people. So she poured herself a glass of Sprite, soft drink, and a glass of water. And then she puts half her tongue in one and half her tongue in the other and swears she can taste both of them. Although, and I'm going to quote, she says, "It makes my brain feel really weird."
But water doesn't really have a taste.
I know. I thought about that too.
Yeah.
But she swear. I suppose if she had coffee or vodka or a pink martini,
yeah,
she could certainly taste the difference. So my question is, if she were licking an ice cream cone and a lollipop with either side, would half of her brain freeze up on the ice cream?
Yeah.
Or does your brain flip? So maybe the opposite side of your brain would freeze when you only licked on one side. I think about these two things too much.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not going to get my tongue split to verify this.
Oh, okay. I'm disappointed. It would have been a great story. And plus, it would have freaked out your dental hygienist.
Yes, absolutely.
And you don't want to freak them out because they're cleaning your teeth. Yeah, you at least wait till they're done. Now, so we were talking about drinks here. You know how much I love to talk about food. So everybody out there, get ready, especially if you're Burger King fans. This comes from Burger King in Germany. So the Burger King, this is the whole chain, not just one restaurant, has come out with a new menu. And I'm going to put a picture up of some of the sandwiches while I tell you what's in them. New menu items: fried egg and banana burger, a currywurst sausage on a burger bun with marinated herring, vanilla ice cream with eggs and olives on a burger bun. I believe that's one of the pictures we're looking at here. A burger with, and the other one is a burger with layers of pancake, fresh raspberries, ice cream, regular cream, and of course, 2 all-beef patties. Now, why did they do this, Karen, you may ask?
Yeah, why?
For pregnant women.
No, I'm sorry. Pregnant women are not that weird.
No, there's the hair. I like the picture of the curry and the herring. Yeah. There's a picture of it. Yeah, they said that they swear pregnant women are coming in and asking for weird sandwiches. So they decided to get ahead of the game and already have some weird sandwiches ready so that the women don't have to say, "Oh, geez, I guess I just want everything, hold everything, and give me a pickle sandwich." These look pretty good. I'm the one I like herring, so I might try that herring sandwich. I don't know about ice cream on a burger.
No,
but so this is for pregnant women. Burger King in the United States doesn't have anything like this. What they have is the ball pit, and women take one look at the ball pit and they swear off sex. They don't even have to worry about getting pregnant.
That's right.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is this a good idea or is it a sexist idea?
I think it is a terrible idea.
Terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Terrible.
Terrible. What is the slogan of Burger King, by the way? Their most famous slogan.
Wow.
Oh boy, you've heard it so many times. I
don't know. Something about
your
the
head
Whopper.
When you hear it. It's
Home of the Whopper.
No, have it your way. Have it your
Oh,
way. Burger King, it was to compete with McDonald's, where you went into McDonald's, you always got the same thing. Burger King said, you can make a special order. We'll do it for you.
ah,
So
have it your way.
yeah,
Yeah, that
1974
certainly
that
is.
slogan came out, and it was to go along with the culture at the time, which was to be an individual, to do your own thing. So that's what you
Ooh,
could do at Burger King. You could do your own thing. You could hold the tomatoes. In fact, they even had a song that was in every commercial that had us all brainwashed when we walked into Burger King. Do you remember the Burger King song? It was
I think I lost some brain cells along the way.
well, it was instructions on how to order at Burger King. And I'm not going to sing it. I'll read you the lyrics. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way. Now, that's the
Oh,
part that everybody remembers. It turns out there's a second verse, not same as the first. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way. We can serve your broiled beef whopper, fresh with everything on topper. Anything you think is proper, have it your way.
hey, very good.
How about
Never
that?
heard it
That's pretty
before.
clever. Those advertising people, they're pretty sharp dudes and ladies. I'm sorry, they're not all dudes. Although if you watched, oh, I should have wrote it down. I can't remember the name of the show about advertising in the 50s. We'll think of it. We'll think
Okay.
of it. The one with John Hamm in it. So have it your
Oh,
way.
Mad Men.
Mad Men, there you go, Mad Men. You notice that just about all of the salespeople were men, with a few women.
Yes,
Okay, another fast food item this week: burritos. You like burritos?
I like tacos.
Tacos. Okay, well, this applies to tacos and burritos. So if you're tired of your burrito or your taco or your wrap, people like wraps. If you're tired of them falling apart while you eat them, students at Johns Hopkins University, I'm sorry, I forgot the S at the end. Johns Hopkins University have created something called Tasty Tape. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's an edible food grade fibrous scaffold, that's their word, and an organic adhesive to help it stick to the tortilla
It
or the wrap.
looks like it's moldy.
It does, doesn't it? It's not exactly the most appealing looking thing, but that's what it is. It's tasty tape. It holds the roll together, not only while you're eating it, but also while you're cooking or baking or whatever it is you might be doing to it. So with all those ingredients, it's it's the healthiest part of a Taco Bell taco. But I'm thinking this is a where if this would apply, sure, Karen, a single guy living in an apartment, he runs out of food, nothing in the refrigerator. Wait a minute, I got that roll of edible tape.
Yeah.
He poured some ketchup on it and gorge on that before finally going to the store and actually getting real food.
That's probably what my son's going to have for dinner tonight.
Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce.
Right.
But give me that tasty tape. We'll think of a rhyme for that one. Now, this is apparently a big problem. I don't know if everybody out in podcast land has this issue, but apparently it's a big problem that people just can't eat their tacos and burritos and wraps without making a mess.
Right.
So there's this guy on Reddit who solves a number of the problems of eating in case you don't have any tasty tape, and he's invented something that he calls the burrito bumper. Now, I have a picture of it up here so you can, but I'm going to describe it to you because it's just too unbelievable.
Right.
So the burrito bumper looks like a giant funnel that you place under your mouth while you're eating your burrito. Now, he has a very sloppy burrito that he is holding over this giant funnel. The burrito bowl catches all the stuff that you drop and drags it down to the bottom hole in the funnel. Underneath the funnel is a little stand, and on the stand is another tortilla. So what happens is the stuff falls out of your mouth and your burrito down into the bowl, into the hole, and into another tortilla, that when you're done with the first one, you can eat a second tortilla of leftover
I'm
stuff.
sorry. They're putting those germs that are going to multiply.
They're your germs, Karen.
Yeah, but no, I don't think that's healthy.
Well, it's really unhealthy if when you're done and you pull out that second taco, it's got more stuff in it than you started with. And I've seen people at Chipotle with these giant burritos. This could be a perpetual motion machine. I mean, you eat the first one, then you pull the second one out, then you eat the second one, and you got a third one, you eat the third. I mean, there's stuff falling out all the time. I don't know when it would ever end. Great entertainment, by the way.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe for some, not me.
Here's a better idea. Use a fork. That would be a super idea. And this is what we're teaching our children. I'm sorry, I'm going to step on my soapbox for a second here. This is what we're teaching our children. You tell them now to set the table, and what do? They bring out a trough to put it to you. That's setting the table today. I'm sorry, this is not right. And the name, the burrito bumper, which sounds to me like the perverted guy standing behind you in line at Taco Bell.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. It doesn't even sound like a good name for a band, the Burrito Bumper. It sounds like a good name for a dance.
Yeah, Burrito Bumper. Yeah.
Like for salsa music, the Burrito Bumper. Yeah, we're taking classes in the Burrito Bumper.
Okay.
Okay, so this was in the mainstream news. We do cover some mainstream news this week. I'm gonna put the picture up here. This is a photo taken by the masked camera on board NASA's Mars rover Curiosity. So that's the hot rover that's going all over Mars. And people look at these photos and look for little anomalies. But this is a real weird anomaly. And you can see it circled on the photo. It looks like a doorway carved into a hill. The kind of doorway that Martians could walk into. Yeah. So, this just went viral across the world. People saying, "Oh my God, there's life on Mars. They're living inside these carved hole here," which to me, I don't believe that, but it looked like a great opening scene for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Martian Doom. So of course, the experts had to jump in. NASA didn't want people to think that that's what's happening. So here's the actual picture, Karen. Now that tiny little spot way at the top with the circle around it conveniently, thank God, is the hole, and at the bottom is part of the rover that likes to take pictures of itself. So it's this tiny little thing.
Oh, I see what that is.
Yeah,
okay.
People are looking. Who has this kind of time to take photographs from Mars and blow them up and go pixel by pixel until you find these weird little things? What I heard is that one of these people was looking inside the door, and they saw a piece of burnt Martian toast and the burn mark had a picture of Abraham Lincoln on it. So wow. That's a reference to the process that your brain goes through called pareidolia, which is when people see photographs in a tortilla, for example.
Got it. Yep.
That's what that's called.
But can I ask you a question? So at the bottom of this picture, there's like a black area. Okay. Yeah. And then two things in front of the black area. Is that part of the rover?
That's the rover. Yeah.
Oh, that's the rover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they're working on this rover. I think this rover has a camera that that they can take pictures of themselves with. They're working on satellites now that will have a selfie stick that they can extend and take pictures of themselves in case they have some kind of maintenance issues. It's amazing what they're doing in space these days. But I can't. People send me cell phone photographs, and I can't see what they're talking about. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a ghost in here. I can barely see the person that they're talking about. So anyway, now I have a new segment called Worst Names. So this is this week's worst name. The Dutch company, this is a Dutch yacht company, but their name is U-Boat Works. Now, I've studied enough World War II history. I don't want to buy anything from a company that's called U-Boat Works. Nonetheless, they are in business. They make yachts, and they just came out with the weirdest non-yacht party boat I've ever heard of. It's called the Underwater Entertainment Platform, UWEP. It's a battery-powered 115-foot submarine. I'm going to put a picture of it.
I want to go into a submarine.
It can wait. You haven't heard it all, Karen.
Okay.
It dives to 650 feet for the sole purpose, has one purpose that it was designed for hosting parties of up to 120 people, plus the crew. It will have a 64-seat restaurant, an underwater gym, an aquatic casino, and a wedding hall. Now, I've got a picture of the inside of it here so you can see. Pretty plush for a submarine. This is not your voyage to the bottom of the sea kind of submarine or your World War II U-boat movie submarine. This is like a beautiful nightclub, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's fancy, but I don't understand wanting to go underwater and the pressure
because
and
it's there.
All that.
Yeah. No, they have the pressure thing figured out.
Okay.
But my biggest concern is not the pressure. The air conditioning, it's air conditioned. And because of that, the pressure is balanced out.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about the pressure. My concern is the 64-seat restaurant because it's all up against these big, beautiful circular windows. And you're sitting there eating your shrimp cocktail. And next thing you know, there's a shark bashing against the window trying
I never thought of that.
I don't want to be in that kind of position. So I already know the answer to this. Would you go to a party on a submarine? I would say the answer is no. I want to do a movie based on this submarine. I want to call it The Hunt for Red Lobster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, would you go to see that?
Yeah, I would. That
Okay.
I'd go see.
Now, proving that once again, P.T. Barnum was right. There's a sucker born every minute. There was a viral video out this week of Egypt's Sphinx, the big Sphinx in front of the giant pyramids with the eyes mysteriously closed. Now, if you probably don't remember your pictures of the Sphinx, there's the real Sphinx on the left. And this is a photograph that went viral on the right. And does it look like the Sphinx's eyes are closed?
Well, yeah, it does.
This is authentic because that's Egyptian writing over there. So
oh, that makes it authentic. Okay. It does, but
yeah, they put the check mark by the real one, so in case you can't figure it out. So this was so big and caused so much controversy. The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities had to get involved, and they had to issue an official statement which said that it was a result of a weak camera, probably a flip phone, being shot at the wrong angle with the sun in the wrong place, because you can see that face is somewhat in the shadow, bad lighting, and then they say, and plus they probably edited it too. Didn't matter. This thing just went all over the internet. So what they did, some people took this picture and showed it to the Statue of Liberty. And here's what the Statue of Liberty did.
I love it.
She didn't close her eyes. She just face palmed.
I love it. Yep.
Poor Statue of Liberty. All right. So let's take the pictures down here for a minute there. That was a lot of fun there. So this came from England. This is another story from England. The man on a bike ride in a forest in Northampton discovered a delivery robot, a 6-wheeled delivery robot that had taken a wrong turn and was lost in the woods and couldn't complete its mission or its delivery, let alone get back to its owner, whoever sent it to the woods in the first place. my first thought is, was it lost or was it looking for a gingerbread house to deliver two fat little kids to a witch who didn't want to go out because of COVID?
Hey,
but this is going to start happening more and more as more of these autonomous robots start making deliveries. You know, I can just see the day when a robot gets lost. All of a sudden on our phones, we're going to be getting Rosie alerts. Lost robot, you know, that was our Jetsons reference there.
absolutely. Rosie was a great
There we go. Yeah. Rosie the robot. So big news this week in the UFO world. You know, everybody who knows that I'm a writer for Mysterious Universe and I talk about quite a bit about UFOs was asking me, what do you think of the hearings, the big UFO hearings in Washington? I think they left a lot to be desired, which is why I'm not covering them for What in the World. Instead, an anonymous Defense Department official told Politico, the big news source, that there's a secret society similar to Yale's Skull and Bones fraternity, but this secret society is in the Pentagon, and they're very protective of UFO data. So to the point of, and this is a quote, to the point of it being a fetish among these Defense Department officials. So I'm thinking a UFO fetish. Number one, I Googled it. Don't do that. You don't see any UFOs. Some strange things that aren't aliens either. So, but what would a UFO fetish be? The only thing I can think of is vibrating flying saucers. I don't know.
I don't know.
Thought, you know, what better opportunity to talk about UFO fetishes than on What in the World? Let's see. Oh, this is one. Do you know who Jane Goodall is, Karen?
Sounds familiar.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
She's the chimpanzee researcher.
Oh, Jane Goodall. Okay.
Jane Goodall. Yes. What did I say? Jane?
I thought you said Jay.
Jay. No, that's her brother. He researches stuffed chimpanzees.
Yes, I know who Jane Goodall is.
Jane Goodall. Okay, well, this is great. This comes from Australia. World-renowned, you know, she's a world-renowned primatologist, revered by everyone in the business. She's the star, and this comes from Australia, where she's the star of a commercial for Boody, Boody, an Australian underwear company whose products are made from organically grown, sustainable bamboo. The ad shows models in their underwear. So, of course, you're wondering, just like all chimpanzees are we going to see Jane Goodall in a thong?
I don't think so.
You know, would you like to know for sure?
No, come on.
Of course, I'm going to show you anyways. There you go. So Dr. Jane Goodall left all of her clothes on, for those of you who are wondering. She donated all of the money went directly to her foundation. So, you know, she has done this kind of thing before. She really has a great sense of humor, from what I've heard. So, congratulations to her. I thought that was a very disappointed chimpanzees who were waiting, you know, cool and nonetheless. So I know you got excited about the Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you been to Lake Tahoe?
Never.
That's a place I want. I have a cousin who lives there, who I'd love to go visit. But now I want to go look for the Lake Tahoe monster, which is called the Tahoe Tessie. So it turns out a bunch of scuba divers spent a year cleaning Lake Tahoe. Well, actually, they were looking at the bottom for all kinds of stuff, looking for shipwrecks, looking for the monster Tahoe Tessie. All they found was garbage, just 25 tons of garbage, 25,000 pounds of garbage, which is the reason why there's no Tahoe Tessie. They didn't see. Why would a monster, even a monster, want to live amongst garbage?
No.
The legend of Tahoe Tessie goes way back again to the Native Americans who wanted to scare the white people away. So it was the Washoe Indians, and they started the legend, and it was reported in the 19th century by all the settlers going through. Oh yeah, we saw Tahoe Tessie. In 1984, two women claimed that they saw the monster, and they said it was 17 feet long. So, comparable to the Loch Ness monster. This is the one that I like. Jacques Cousteau. Now, again, if you're under 30, you may not know who Jacques Cousteau is. One of the most famous oceanographers of all time. Had a weekly show on where he would take all of us when we were kids to the depths of the oceans around the world.
Absolutely.
And showing us cool stuff. He actually went looking for the Tahoe Tessie. He had a mini submarine, and he did several dives to the 1,600-foot bottom. And when he came to the surface, they asked him what he saw. And here's what he said. This is a direct quote from Jacques Cousteau. "The world isn't ready for what is down there." How about that?
Wow, what is that?
To his death, yeah. He refused to reveal what he saw at the bottom of Lake Tahoe. So, I mean, that's got everybody all excited. We got to go find them. Or it could be mobster bodies like they're finding in Lake Mead.
Or it could be the garbage.
Yeah. You're right. The world's ready to see the garbage now. So anyway, I think that's about as weird as we can get for 1 week. So normally at this time, we would switch over to our sidekick, John DiNallo, for What in the World of Sports. But since John isn't here, we're going to push that story to next week. I know it's a good one because I've already taken a look at some of the photos. So come on back next week and we'll show you what John
Sounds
had.
good.
I will be. So now it's time to play Bluff the co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. Game is real simple. I have 3 stories similar to the ones we've been talking about this afternoon. One difference, they may be true like those, or they may be bluffs. And it's up to Karen and you playing at home to figure out which ones are the bluffs. The gambling is allowed. We have permission, so place your bet. Karen, place your hand on the buzzer.
I'm ready.
Yep. I'll play for John. So
yeah, sure you will.
Here we go with story number 1. This was supposed to be the year Germany's Oktoberfest festivals came back from the COVID shutdown, but some of the larger ones are facing a new threat. A shortage of lederhosen is threatening to force both drinkers and beer maids to wear ugly cloth shorts instead of the traditional leather ones. A lack of truck drivers combined with the high price of cattle and cutbacks at leather clothing factories is the perfect storm that killed the lederhosen. Some festivals are actually looking into fake leather lederhosen, while others are considering a new tradition called woolly hosen. All agree that it won't be the same as wearing the sweaty crotch, beer-stained lederhosen. All right, Karen. So a lederhosen shortage in Germany threatening Oktoberfest this year. What do you say, real or bluff?
We're facing so many shortages in life today that sounds like it's a real good chance you're right.
Okay. So Karen says that that there really is a lederhosen shortage in Germany. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, don't worry when you go to Germany, there's no lederhosen shortage. Sorry, that's a bluff. What there is a beer bottle shortage. I happen to see that in the news. Yeah. So, I think in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to Oktoberfest and going to Germany, a beer bottle shortage is much more severe than a
You're
lederhosen.
absolutely right. But they could just put their mouth underneath the keg spout and,
lay on the ground. Yeah. Just
yeah.
Is that the way you drink beer, Karen?
I don't drink beer.
Oh, all right. Okay. So let's see. Let's check the leaderboard here. And the score is 0.
Yeah.
Big sorry, Karen. Let's check with story number 2. Let's get right to it. Hand on the buzzer. It's May. So high schools are gearing up for a senior prank season. It will be tough to beat the prank of an aviation high school in Poland, where seniors went up in a single-engine plane for what they told their teachers was a homework assignment. But instead, they stayed aloft for 4 hours while they flew in a pattern which showed up on air traffic control radar screens as the words, "Make beer, not war." Other seniors on the ground gave the pilot and the passengers directions and kept the teachers in the dark until the plane landed. No one was reprimanded because they followed all the proper aviation rules. They flew away from other planes and the words were spelled correctly. So, aviation high school in Poland that flew in a pattern that spelled out "Make beer, not war" on the radar screen. What do you say, Karen? Real or bluff? And everybody else out there.
Well, I have to believe this is a bluff because Poland is really busy right now taking care of, all the refugees from the Ukraine. And so I want to believe that high school kids just didn't do something this foolish.
Yeah, yeah. Kids are basically good around the world. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying. So they would never do something like this. At least not in Poland with all the
No, not in Poland right now.
No. Let's check with the judges. Okay, so Karen says that's a bluff.
Bluff.
Check with the judges, and the judges say, "Sorry, Karen. Kids in Poland are just like kids everywhere else. Seniors."
I'm not very happy with you this week. Your stories are just so good that I can't get them right.
Well, you don't have John to lead you down some
you're right.
path of logic to help out. Okay, let's check with the scoreboard, and the scoreboard says 0 again.
Yep.
Yeah. Good news, Karen. Points are doubled in round number 3.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you have a chance to come back. All right, let's get right to story number 3 here. In 1955, Richard Berry wrote the song "Louie Louie" about a sailor from the Caribbean telling a bartender named Louie about missing his girlfriend. In 1964, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover opened an investigation into the recording of the song by the Kingsmen because so many parents were complaining that they couldn't understand the lyrics, so they must be dirty. In 2022, current FBI Director Christopher Wray just found out this week that the case was still open, and some parents in Texas want the song investigated again because they're still offended. Wray has better things to do, but a certain Texas governor apparently doesn't. So Wray has subpoenaed the last living member of the Kingsmen to settle this once and for all because we gotta go.
Oh.
The song "Louie Louie" is being investigated once again because the case was never closed back in 1964 by everybody's favorite FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover. What do you say, kid? That was a big story, by the way.
That was.
Everybody talked about it. Big, popular song. Real or bluff?
I want it to be a bluff, but I really do believe there's, I'm sorry, my words, stupid people out there who would want this investigated. So I'm going to say it's real.
Before I say anything else, I want to apologize to our Texas listeners. That was Karen Hale saying that. Could be any state. Could be any state. There's probably other states that are upset about it.
I'm sure.
So Karen says that's a real story, that they're still investigating the song "Louie Louie." Let's check with the judges. And the judges say, good news for the residents of Texas, that's a bluff.
Okay, well, you wrote 3 good stories this
Wow,
week.
so Karen is 0 for 3 this week. Oh my goodness. Lucky John's not here to rub it in.
Yeah, well,
I won't tell him. So
he'll find out, I'm sure. Oh, well.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of another great fun-filled What in the World. I want to thank Karen Hale right off the bat, our producer and media mogul and co-host, for being a great co-host and for all the things you do at newclevelandradio.net. Please go there and visit, find out how to listen to What in the World, and also then take a look at all the great podcasts that Karen has available for you. Really, really good, all different subject matter. You can spend days and days and days listening to them. So
You sure
I,
could.
I advise doing that until What in the World comes back with the next live episode. And then, as always, I want to thank everybody out there listening to us or watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for being part of the What in the World world. It's nice to know that other people are having fun with us. That always makes the job better. It's a labor of love. It's a labor of fun, and we're glad to find out that other people are having fun right along with us. So please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell anybody who might be listening to podcast or even doesn't even know what a podcast is. Take the time to explain it to them and use What in the World as the example. Hopefully they won't be disappointed when they find out that other podcasts aren't nearly as much fun or entertaining as What in the World. And on that note, I think I'm going to say goodbye until next week.